And 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to change that value. So we create a default value, then we go to options, and we change those values. So you can see here, I have the capacity under options to change both the height, the depth, and the length of that wall that I have selected. Now I want to change all of the walls that are connected to that wall. So rather than go through, change them one at a time, what I'm going to do is select this box here. It says select all segments, select all wall segments. So if I click on one wall and then click on the select all segments wall, you can see the height and depth is nominated here, but the length is grayed out, or it's not available to us. And the reason behind that is each one of these 3 interconnecting wall segments has a different length. So they share a common height and depth, and they have a different length. So if I come now to depth and change this value to say 90 millimeters and click apply, you can see what has happened is all of the 3 interconnecting walls have been adjusted from their default value of 2400 millimeters high and 200 millimeters deep to 2400 high, 90 millimeters deep. So I'm going to go through and do that on the other side for the other walls. And again, each of the walls that I built using my drawing function, going back to our drawing function, it's the walls that interconnect each other. And you can see this interconnection relationship through these blue control points. All of these walls can be changed by clicking on any one segment of that wall, going to select all segments, and then making an adjustment to one of the values here and clicking apply. And we'll see, again, all of these segments have now updated their depth to 90 millimeters. So that's how we insert a wall. Let's just quickly repeat that process. Let's click on this wall here, delete it. We find a line that we wish to place a wall upon, go to the wall building tool, select the wall building tool, click with the left-hand mouse button where we want the wall to start, drag with our mouse held down to the point where we want the wall to finish, and let go. This creates a wall with the default height of 2400 millimeters high and 200 millimeters deep. And of course, because this is a single segment, you can see the length here selected. So I can change any of these values and this will update the wall in our scene. So let's click on the wall and say this is a 3 meter high wall. And you can see it's updated. It's a 90 millimeter deep wall, and you can see it's updated. Anytime we want to make any changes, just like with the basic version of the Virtual Decorator, we have a tool called the Undo tool. Click once on the Undo tool for each step backwards in the building process you wish to take. So that's a quick overview of how we create both exterior perimeter walls and internal structural walls within our building process. What we're going to discuss now is the creation of flooring surfaces for our virtual building so that we can place materials of construction into our virtual building. Now you'll remember when we first started with our set of plans, the plans that represent the building that you wish to construct a model of, the very first step that we did after scaling the plans was to create a foundation. And we didn't get rid of that foundation. In fact, that foundation still runs throughout the length and depth of our building. We simply made the foundation transparent using our color tool so that we could see what was underneath on the plans and correctly position our wall structures, our internal wall structures. So we actually have a floor that runs throughout our building, and in fact what we could do is we could go through the process of putting a material, for example, on this floor, but that material would then run throughout the entire length of our building. Now that might be a very practical discussion if what you're building is a commercial or in fact an industrial building, but as we're creating a model of a residential house here, it would be extremely unlikely that you would have the same floor finishes in every room of the house. What I mean by that is it would be unexpected to have the same floor materials in the garage and the master bedroom and the ensuite and the walk-in robe. These are likely to have separate materials in each room. So we need to go through the process of creating a separate floor area in each room of the house that we intend to apply a separate floor finish. So what we need to do is we need to go up to our drawing tools, and we can access it up here at the top left-hand side of the screen. You can see the default tools that are made available to you are our building tools. By going to one step down on our drop-down menu, you'll see the drawing tools. And there are a number of different types of drawing tools that we make available to you. A tool to make circular foundations, a tool to make polygon foundations, very similar to the concept of tracing out a multi-sided shape as we did with our original floor plans in today's tutorial. A tool that allows us to build square or rectangular foundation tools. Now the dark grey tools are for drawing or adding in foundations, and the white tools are hole cutting tools. They allow us to cut holes into other surfaces, and we'll come back and talk a little bit about that later in our training video today. But let's start off by choosing our rectangular or square drawing tool, and then drawing some floors, some separate floor areas in each room of the house that we wish to have a separate floor finish. So I'll go to my rectangular foundation tool. I'll select that with my left-hand mouse button, and then I'll go to the very corner of the room and click with my left-hand mouse button, and then drag to the bottom right-hand corner. And you can see as I drag this out, I can basically control the width and the depth of this rectangle or square. So I get to the point where I want the square to finish, and I simply let my mouse button go. And what this then does is creates a flooring material. I can use my move tool here to just move that a little bit, tuck that in its position. It creates a flooring material for my master bedroom area. Let's do the same thing for our double garage. So rectangular foundation tool, right up to the corner, click where I want to be, and drag down to the bottom right-hand corner and let it go. And again, you can see I've created a separate flooring area for my double garage floor, ready to apply whatever material or construction I choose for that particular space in my house. Now let's talk about some of the challenges that new users have in creating drawing tools or creating floors in their rooms, and it's this. If you're not careful, if you don't carefully select where you want the floor foundation to begin, you can create unwanted shapes on unwanted surfaces. So for example, I was intending to draw a floor into my second bedroom here, and for some reason, even though I thought I was in the corner, I ended up drawing a floor or a foundation against the wall. Now, why did that happen? Quite simply because I had the mouse too close to the corner, and instead of directing the software to create the foundation in the corner here, I actually had the mouse across the top of the wall. It's a very simple mistake to make, so we have some aids, some assistance built into the software that works like this. You select the foundation tool, hold the shift button down, and click on the surface that you wish the foundation to be created. And you can see a red crosshair appears, a red cross that then marks very visually the surface on which the software is going to create that foundation for you. And then you let the shift button go, and you can get right into the corner here. So we can get right in. We don't have to worry now because we've got our nominated surface, and we can create a very accurate floor for this space. So let's go back and do that again. Choose the foundation tool, hold the shift button down, and press once with the left-hand mouse button. This then nominates the surface on which your foundation is going to be created. And then we can get right into the corner without any concerns about being on the wall, about creating a foundation at strange angles or on the wrong surface, right into the wall because we've nominated our build surface as this surface here, and we can drag out a floor. So we've got a floor in then each room of the house, so one for the double garage, one for the master bedroom. Obviously, we can use our transparency tool, as we did with our foundation, to make this surfaces either transparent or opaque. If we're going to place a material or construction onto this surface, we're going to want to make those surfaces opaque so that we can in turn see what that material will look like when it's placed on our foundation.